Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to be your host, the Irrelevant Nerd, and today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. I am so excited to review this show because it finally feels like I have some positive things to say about a Star Wars show again. So I'm going to do the spoiler warning right now because I'm just going to get right into it. And I'm not going to go over every little detail, but I am definitely going to be talking about certain aspects of the finale. So spoiler warning, and yeah, let's just get right into it. First, I'll start with a few of the technical aspects. The animation for these shows is just getting ridiculous. Like the minor details such as like hair and the way that the hair moves or the way that fabric moves, they all just look fantastic. And the lightsaber fights are incredible. The choreography is amazing and they're fluid and they're just so much fun. And the movements just feel so in line with what we have seen in the prequel movies, and it just looks so fluid, and I am very impressed. And I mean, even just the backgrounds in the show are breathtaking. They look like they're just masterfully done water paintings that for me immediately invoked that kind of same feel as some of the concept art from like the George Lucas era of Star Wars. And I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And beyond just the animation aspect and how it looks, I also want to highlight the music for the show. The score is as fantastic as always for these animated shows, but the reason that this score stood out to me in particular is the heavy integration of the Duel of the Fates as well as the Imperial March. This seems to be the first Star Wars show that isn't ashamed to use the classic Star Wars music. Like the Kenobi show avoided it in general, and if you've ever seen the Kai Patterson cut of the Kenobi show where he basically squishes the whole show down into a movie, it's much better. He adds in some music from the movies and it just enhances so many moments. So I appreciated that this show integrated the music because it is such an important and iconic part of Star Wars, and I really appreciated it in here. And the voice acting again for these animations, as always, was just top notch. Sam Witwer as Maul has been absolutely perfect casting from the beginning, and I cannot imagine it getting any better. But even with all of those great technical aspects, I actually do think the strongest aspect of this show is the plot and the characterizations, which I would say traditionally has not been the case with a lot of Disney Star Wars. They've done some of it very well, a few cool characters and a few cool moments, but under Disney, I think it could be described as like hit or miss. And at best, that's if you're being generous. This show nailed it. The pacing is so damn strong, and every episode had action and it moves the story forward in a meaningful way, and every episode felt like it flew by. They're all about 25 minutes long and they just seem like you blink and they're done. And I think the plot of Maul getting revenge on the other crime lords and being hunted by the Empire and the Inquisitors was such a fun direction for the show, and really the kind of the perfect type of show for Darth Maul. And I really liked the introduction of Devin. I loved the character, and to kind of see how much her and Maul's relationship and how much she changed, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with her in the future, because it kind of seems like they're setting her up to be a Darth Talon-like character. But since we already kind of know a lot about Maul, by the time he gets to Rebels, she's not around, so I'll be interested to see, does she die? Do they have a falling out? And I want to know what's going on going forward. But the thing that elevated this season so high for me is the finale, and the use of Darth Vader was absolute perfection. My jaw was dropped for almost the entire final episode. I have wanted a Maul versus Vader fight since I was like, 10 years old, the very first time I saw The Phantom Menace, and it was perfect. I loved how powerful Vader seemed, and that overpowering these enemies was not difficult. Like, Vader is just that dude. And I also like that he didn't talk. I think that's a good way to not like tarnish his characters. They basically have just been bringing Vader in for badass moments. Like, if things are going too well with our lead characters, typically Vader is going to show up, and I think it was absolutely perfect. I wouldn't have changed anything about the finale at all, or really anything about the season when I think back on it. I think that's not true. I have one gripe with the season, and it's not even it's not that bad. My one gripe is during the scene, which I believe is it's not the episode before the finale. I think it's the episode before that one. Maul basically has a vision of his life, and I really liked the vision and getting to see glimpses of his past. The thing that I didn't like, though, was that Maul shed a tear, and it wasn't that he started crying hysterically or anything like that. It was just one tear, if I remember correctly, but I just don't like it. That does not seem to fit with the Darth Maul character that I know, and it makes sense for the moment for most other characters. I get it. I understand what they're trying to convey, but do not make Maul an emotional character, and do not try to make the audience feel bad for him. That is like not the purpose of his character at all. And I felt like that tear, they were trying to do that. It was a small moment, and I do think it was understandable in the moment, but I don't think that's the right type of thing to do with this character. But with that being said, I do think they're setting up the character to be really interesting. A dark side user, but who hates the Sith because of what Sidious did to him, and he hates the Jedi. He has a certain amount of respect for them, but it's not like he wants to ally himself with them. He wants to use Devin for his own purposes, but just, I don't know. The Disney Star Wars is starting to fill a lot with these characters who are Force users, but don't belong to either the Sith or the Jedi. Like Maul, dark side Force user, but actively hates the Sith, has mostly hated the Jedi. You have Ahsoka, leaves the Jedi Order, supports them, hates the Sith, but in her own middle ground, but like more in the light. You have like Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll from the Ahsoka show, dark side users, not exactly Sith, but I kind of like some of the introduction of these types of characters for Disney Star Wars. I think it's a fun way to expand the lore and not really mess with what George Lucas had done. But I really, outside of that tier, I thought this was an absolutely perfect Darth Maul show. And it's nice to know that you can always kind of rely on these animated Star Wars shows to hit pretty consistently. Like, some of them have been pretty crappy, like the show that's set in the sequel trilogy area. I got like 2 episodes in and I quit watching it, and Tales of the Empire and some of that stuff is hit or miss, but overall the animation is pretty strong, and this is maybe the best animated show, just because I do love the Clone Wars, don't get me wrong, but there are some ups and downs of the show that this show hasn't really been around long enough to have. But I absolutely loved it. I would love to know what you think and how you think they're going to move forward with this character and what's going to happen with Devin. And am I hyping the show up too much? Like, for me, I don't know. Really, I would say 10 out of 10 except for that tier. It's a 9.99 out of 10 for me. This was an absolutely fantastic Star Wars show. Again, let me know your thoughts down below. Am I hyping it too much? What would your rating be? And if you don't have it as a 10 out of 10, what would you have done differently? Because for me, I don't see the negatives in this show. But if you do see them, I would absolutely love to hear why. And I'll have some more videos up for you very soon. We have The Boys finishing up, so I'll have a review out for the remaining, I believe it's 3 episodes of the season, and I will see you guys in the next one.